This segment is brought to you by Sysco Bahamas.
Welcome back. We are in the kitchen once again with Chef Jamal Small from Sysco Bahamas, right in time for Thanksgiving. And Chef says, you know what, we're not doing ham, we're not doing turkey, but he is going to bring us some alternatives for this Thursday for your Thanksgiving meal. So Chef, I'll let you tell us a little bit about what we're preparing today.
So we have Two Rivers. We sell it at Sysco. Two Rivers is a brand. They sell their meat provider. And we have a strip loin. So it comes whole. As you can see, it comes whole.
Right.
You could break it down into a New York strip. That's two different cuts. Or you could do it whole roasted. And that's what I did. I prepared a whole roast. So we're going to do a portion of the whole roast. And we're going to show you how to marinate.
Okay.
How to season it up, make it nice and melt in your mouth. And then you put it in the oven. 500 degrees to get a nice sear on the outside. Then you drop the temperature to about 325.
Okay.
For another 15, 20 minutes. Perfect. Let it rest for half an hour. Then you slice, pair it with your sauce, with your pommes puree. And it's a
very fancy meat and potatoes. And this is a classic, great looking piece of meat, Chef. And Chef has already got the potatoes going. But first we are going to get into this marinade for your meat. So tell us a little bit about what we have.
In the hotel we call this a mud. In the restaurant field we call this a mud.
Okay.
Garlic, fresh herbs, good extra virgin olive oil. So we're going to lather that up.
Ah, that looks so good.
Lather that
You can
up.
smell the freshness of the herbs as well. Garlic.
Both sides, garlic, herbs, and Two Rivers. As you can see the fat granules.
Right.
What they do is they inject even more fat into the meat. So they basically make it foolproof in regards to fat content and texture. So
Very easy, right?
Yes.
Now, you know us, we like to let our meat rest and marinate and take some time.
You can put it in a Ziploc bag. You could put it in a cryovac bag like we do in a hotel.
That's a vacuum seal, nice and tight. Get those juices in there. And so how long do we want this to marinate if we're just doing it regular? Overnight.
Overnight, 2 hours. If you only have 2 hours, if you put it in a cryovac bag, definitely it'll absorb.
Right away. So if you want to have this on Thursday, you want to do it from tonight or tomorrow night so you get all that flavor sealed inside the meat.
But what we don't do is add what?
Salt. Right.
Okay, we don't add salt. We leave that until we're about to sear.
Okay.
So, we're about to sear. So we're gonna put generous amount of kosher salt on the top.
And this is after it would have
has a brine a
marinated.
little bit in the pump, so we don't want to over salt because you always can add salt, but you can't take away salt. So we have kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper on the top, and Janae, we're gonna do the honors and push it in the oven.
Thank you so much. I'm working today. And what temp do we want this at?
We want that at the max set oven to go. So in a hotel in convection, it'll be about 475, and a convection oven in an industrial oven, which will be not the max, but at home the max will be about 500 because it's a household oven.
500 degrees, and for how long?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay,
Good
that's
sear. We want a good,
quick
even
and
sear.
easy.
And then that's for 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, you drop the temperature to about 325.
Right.
And then you do that for an additional 15 minutes.
So once at 500, that's 20 minutes, and then additional 15 minutes, you want to lower that temp, get all your juices and everything sealed in there. So while that is cooking, Chef is going to go into some sides. We have one ready. Okay, we have one ready. Before we get to the sides, we are going now. Chef has it all prepared, quick and easy.
Of course, we come and we have this TV. We got to do it for TV. So we're going to torch.
You want to bring it over?
We're going to torch.
Ah.
Just create some smoky.
Looks so good. So what you did is you put some fresh herbs on there to get that smokiness now, right, with the torch? Such a good looking piece of meat.
So, right there, and I'm going to do the honors of carving it. So I'm going to pull the end off first.
Oh, perfect temperature.
And yeah, that, as you can juices. Put that right there.
And I know it's important to let your meat rest. So after that would have come out of the...
No running, no running.
Right.
Look at the board. The board is nice and clean.
So you want to let your meat rest after it comes out of the oven for a good couple of minutes. Let all those juices stay in there.
So we're going to add some of that smoky thyme. Just as a little garnish. And of course, we have our natural jus from the meat. Of course, listen, the best mashed potatoes you can eat.
What's the secret to a good mash?
The secret to a good mash first is the potato.
Okay.
The potato you choose, even though you could choose a rustic, so we have a rustic white.
Right.
So it gives off a yellow hue. It's close to Yukon Gold, so it's not too starchy.
Right.
You don't want too starchy potato. And then you peel, you allow it to sit.
So it's not cream and butter, because, you know, that's what I put in my mash. That's my secret.
With the potato.
Okay.
So you see that. You start with the potato first. And then you boil. You boil it. Fresh cracked pepper. Boil it. Strain it. Let it dry out.
Yeah.
And then your cream and butter. So you add cream and butter. Almost equal parts.
Right.
It's a lot of fat. Fat is flavor. And if you want to go alternative, you add chicken stock or vegetable stock you could use. You could use alternative milk.
Right.
Once you bring that up to temperature and then you whisk it in, use a potato masher, use a ricer, whip it in.
Nice and
what's
smooth
the final
and
thing
creamy.
to get it nice and smooth and creamy? You run it through one of your household sips.
Okay. All right.
Nice
Smooth
and
texture.
smooth and creamy.
Right.
Buttery. So there you go.
So our meal is done, but Chef, tell us a little bit about what we have in front of us
So-
for your Thanksgiving alternative. You have your mash if you don't want your
Pomme
rice.
puree.
Pomme puree.
Let's get it right, pomme puree.
So we can
The
sub that
fresh puree.
for your peas and rice.
Yes.
Okay. You have your meat.
If you meat.
That takes place of the ham and turkey.
Ham turkey, of course. 'Cause we're done with that. We still got to do it for Christmas.
Right, right. So you
Yeah.
want to break.
So for starters, we at Sysco we carry a Būf Creamery, which is a buffalo mozzarella.
Right.
That is lactose free. So it's grass-fed buffalo, completely lactose free. So people who like cheese or used to like cheese and they're lactose intolerant, they could have this cheese.
They could have that
And
cheesy
they can
goodness.
indulge in this cheese. So we
Right.
have a bocconcini that I use to make a flatbread, paired with some prosciutto, a little onion jam, some smoked tomato, fresh chives to finish, a little basil pesto, and then we have a burrata, which is like the creme de la creme. Listen, it's filled with stracciatella of cow's milk and buffalo milk, and I paired it with some heirloom tomatoes, a little basil oil, fresh
Chef went
herbs.
all out.
Oh,
He went
it's
all
just-
out for Thanksgiving,
and
giving you
it's
some
like
options.
alternatives, because we don't always have to do turkey.
But while I still have my ham and turkey, I will have a piece of this roast. It looks so good. That gravy's on there and some mash. So it is time to dig in. The cut on that is perfect. Flavorful, juicy. That crust on the outside
Definitely,
is
that's
so
key.
good.
You want the crust.
Just get some of
and
that sauce and the mashed potatoes. Let me see if the mashed potatoes.
You know, have a hint of truffle as well, because you know, it has to be extra.
The creamiest, garlickiest, that's the word, smoothest,
Garlickiest. Oh wow.
smooth mashed potatoes that you would put in your mouth. It is really, really excellent. Chef, once again, you have outdone yourself today. Again, you want to get this roast as perfect as possible because the payoff, the reward in the end,
Definitely.
out of this world. And of course, your mashed potatoes. This Thanksgiving, we want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Eyewitness News and Sysco Bahamas.
Yes,
Thanks again to Chef for always coming through and preparing
Always a
a
pleasure.
wonderful meal for us. And we got Christmas next month.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure Chef has something super exciting
For the
in
parties,
stock for
yeah,
us.
and stuff coming up.
So be sure to tune in. You can also log on to our website, ewnews.com, for all of today's recipes. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. Your BTC Connection is right after this. Well, that wraps up news this Tuesday, but be sure to tune in to Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller. She has a breakdown of all of today's top stories right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. Once again, I'm Janae Noel. Have a great evening, everyone, and be safe.